And welcome back everyone. This is Mohammed Arslan and you're watching my channel MArcSiddiqui. And in the previous lectures we have studied the 4 ways that how we can display our text, our results into browser. And in today's class we are going to learn about the statements, and the statements are going to be really important for us, because if we don't know how to write a statement, then it is going to be a little bit difficult for us to write JavaScript coding. So for that purpose, let's move on and learn how to write statements and what are the statements first of all. Okay, so what is a statement? In HTML, JavaScript programs are executed by the web browser, and those programs are called basically the statements. I mean to say, the programs which we were writing in the previous lecture, they are statements as well. A computer program is a list of instructions to be executed by a computer. Whatever instruction we gives, the written instructions are called statements. In a programming language, these programming instructions are called statements, as I have told you. A JavaScript program is a list of programming statements. Like we can have multiple statements at the same time in our script, in our JavaScript code. JavaScript statements are composed of variables, and the variables can be some values, operators, expressions, keyword and comments. Like if I tell you, we have already learned the operators, we have already studied about the arithmetic operators. There are many more operators. There are some comparison, there are some other operators as well, but for the basic we can know that if we write some statement, so that is called instruction, and that is going to be executed by the web browser. Most JavaScript programs contain many JavaScript statements. They may be multiple. There is no limit that every JavaScript code has only one statement. There can be multiple as well. The statements are executed one by one in the same order as they are written. Like if you have written 5 statements and they are one upon one another, like one line, two line, second and third, something like that. So what is going to happen? The first line is going to be executed first, then second, then third, like in the manner of they are written. So in the manner they are going to be executed. But there are some special options. If you are creating some function, so they can be executed well, because the function will be called earlier than the statement. So we will discuss it later. JavaScript programs are often called JavaScript codes, so you can call them codes as well, or you can call them statements as well, no matter. Semicolon separate JavaScript statement. Every statement where the semicolon is written at the end of each line, so the line is saying that the statement is completed. Add a semicolon at the end of each executable statement. Every statement should have semicolon, and you can find some statements which do not have semicolon, and you can find those examples on the internet as well. But we highly recommend that you write semicolon at the end of each statement, so that can be easy to read, that can be easy to handle, and it may not cause a problem. So it is recommended. It is not necessary that the JavaScript code will not run. It can be run, but it can create problem as well. So that's why it is recommended that you write semicolon at the end of each statement. When separated semicolons, multiple statements on one line are allowed. Like you can write 2 statements, you can write 5 statements. There is possibility, obviously, and it is not the mean that you will have to write only one statement at one line. You can write multiple, but for that purpose you must need to end the statement, and the statement can be ended by the semicolon. Ending a statement with semicolon is not required but highly recommended, as I have told you. JavaScript ignores multiple spaces. You can add white space to your script to make it more readable. Like you can create some space in your code so you can read it easily, because it is not going to be like an English language that you can easily read in your book. It can be really complicated if you see the long script, if you see the main and drastic functions, so it can be really hard to read. So it is recommended that you make some spaces in your code that you can read it, but not in between the keywords. A good practice is to put a space around operators, like we have studied operators, and if you go back to my lectures you can see that I have already written some spaces there. So it is recommended that you write a space especially between the operators so you can read it. because if you do not make a space, it is going to be really complex, it is going to be really complicated to read. And I hope that you have this lecture very usable for you. It is only a theoretical class for today. We are not implementing some code, but I recommend you to focus on these points, so that can be really easy for you to continue with the JavaScript coding. If you have any problems, so you can ask to me. Have a good day. Thank you. Goodbye.